Hi teachers, in this video we're going to be walking through the Must.Get.Fractions coding game where that robot is trying to capture the fractions on the screen. This game can be played both virtually or in person. You can do it on paper, you can do it as a game that students play on their own or one that they play against a peer or multiple peers. You can also do it where the game board is online and the fraction recording sheet is printed, or whatever combination you come up with. I'm going to walk you through the different parts of the game and talk about setup before you push this out to your students. So on this first page of the slideshow, we have a board that is ready for you to customize or students to customize. This is specifically geared towards third grade because there are halves, thirds, fourths, sixths, and eighths. All of those fractions are included as that is part of your standards. And then you also have a start and a finish. Now, what the user or teacher would need to do before students are playing is they would need to set up the board with fractions. Now, you might set up the board with one fraction on every square. You can cover the entire board. There is enough pieces to cover the entire board without duplicating fractions. However, you may want to focus on a certain number of fractions or actually leave blanks on the board and maybe just put out fourths or fourths and eighths while students are working through that. So you can customize this however you want as a teacher. You would simply just drag the fraction pieces into the center of the squares where you want them. Now, if you want students to do this, they can do that as well, but you doing it as a teacher ahead of time allows you to customize exactly what you want on the board so there's not more or less. Once you have the whole fraction board set up however you want, do make sure you have the start and finish. That's really important. There are 4 different robot pieces over here that students can play with. If you're printing this board, obviously you would give students game chips instead of the robots, or you could print out the robots on little pieces of paper for them to move about the board. Again, they can play it with a partner or they can play it on their own. Each student has a recording sheet as they are playing. So I'm going to take a look real quick here at a full-size board. I have my robot. I'm going to move my robot to the start, and I need a goal or objective for my robot. Maybe that goal or objective is to find a certain fraction. Find the fraction 5/6. And so the robot is going to locate the fraction 5/6, and they are going to be recording the steps that they use in order to locate the fraction 5/6. There can be a whole different way, a whole bunch of different ways students can do this. The goal is really to get to the least amount of steps, but that doesn't mean students have to have that. So if I take a look at my recording sheet can be filled in digitally, or it can be printed and students can fill it in on paper. There is a front and a back so that students have enough space to record all of their steps. So if my robot is trying to capture 5/8, let's see if I can locate, or 5/6, I think I said 5/6. So here is the piece that I want to grab for my robot. So I am going to move my robot 2 spaces to the right, and I am going to record that. Now, I could grab these blocks down here if I'm playing this virtually and paste them in a different place, or I could simply write in my box, move 2 spaces right. Now, this is what the students would handwrite if you had done a printed sheet. Their code block options are down here. So they have move spaces, pick up spaces, jump over spaces, and then left, right, up, down. Then we're going to take a look at what my robot needs to do next. 1, 2, 3, oops, I moved the wrong thing. Grab my robot. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want to move 4 spaces down. So in the next space on my recording sheet, I write move 4 spaces down. And then I want to pick up fraction. And then I want to get to the finish. So I need to move 1, 2, 3. So move over 3 right, 1 up. So now I'm going to record that, move 3 spaces right, move 1 space up. And I might write to finish here. Okay, so that is all students do. They will want to record their goal on this sheet. So my goal this time was to capture the fraction 5, 6. Now, where this can be either made simpler or more challenging for students is what you're asking students to capture. So now if we go back to this whole board of fractions, if you're using the full game board, you can mix up these cards however you want. They can all be dragged to different spaces. I might ask students to capture all fractions that represent 1 whole, or capture all fractions that equal 1/2. And so you can add variance to that. You can also leave lots of blank spaces on the board. So maybe you only want to put out 4ths and 8ths, and you want to focus on equivalence, or you want students to really understand the 0, 6, 0 halves, and then 6, 6, 6 halves. Not 6 halves, 6, 6, 4 fourths, and so on. So it is up to you on how you want to customize the board. Again, you can print this board out for students, or you can have them play the board digitally, but then do the recording sheet on paper. You can have them play it with a partner digitally, and then do the recording sheet on paper. You can do whatever combination you want. Do keep in mind, before you share out anything in Google Classroom, if you are doing a part of this game digitally, make sure that you delete all the things that you don't want students to have. So if you want them to play the game digitally, but you want them to do the recording sheet on paper, you probably want to remove the recording sheet from the game, and you may want to remove the extra game boards if those will get in the way. Limit the number of robots, delete extra cards you're not using, customize it how you want it. Make sure it's only what you want students to have before you push it out in Google Classroom. Hope you have fun playing this robot fraction game.